So Rick, what in your opinion is the purpose of the Honor Guard?
I think the Honor Guard should be a well-maintained, good-looking group because they're representing everyone on the fire department. So they should look their very best that they can.
Okay. And why did you join the Honor Guard?
I was recently out of the Army before getting onto the fire department. And when the call came out for an Honor Guard, I was knew marching quite well. That was drilled into me in the Army, and I thought maybe I could contribute somewhat to the Honor Guard because they were just starting out in I think it was October, November of '72. So I was one of the first ones on the Honor Guard. But yeah, I just thought I could help out because of my Army training.
And how did participation in the Honor Guard affect you?
Got to know quite a few of the people on the fire department, and that was a little tough a few times because we'd do retired firefighters' funerals, and a few on-duty deaths from fire and police. So some of it's quite emotional, but it was good to contribute to the welfare of everyone, and like you're displaying yourself in front of citizens, so you want to do it the very best you can.
Is there a specific event or a ceremony that holds special meaning for you?
I think it was July of 1992, the Forest Lawn hotel fire, and Morley James died in that. And represented the Honor Guard, represented the fire department at the funeral, and it was kind of a tough one to do, but it was nice to see in the procession that we went to. The citizens stepped aside and stopped, and kind of paid their respects somewhat to Morley. So that was one that affected me.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
There was some really neat stuff we did. Like we did. We were the guard at the Stanley Cup at City Hall, and there was I think it was that year that the Blue Jays won the cup. It appeared at City Hall, and we kind of stood guard by it. And one other thing that happened in 1992, along with Morley, was we stood guard for the Queen, and it was, I believe, during Stampede in '92. I think she came. I'm not sure if it was the Stampede, but it seems like it was July or somewhere in there, and we just lined up, and she pulled up in her limousine and got out, and like I said before, she's quite a presence. She certainly does have an aura about her. As we were talking before, the statue downtown at the Fallen Firefighter Memorial area there, that statue is an absolute direct off copy from me. I had dental floss, not dental floss, dental, I don't know what, it's kind of a fine plaster. And Ray Arnett was the artist, and the Calgary Firefighters Union had, they wanted some statues for the fire and police for the 1997 World Police Fire Games, which was held in Calgary. And one day I was in the Union Hall, and Bill Weisenberger, who I knew was one of the union guys, he said, "Rick, would you volunteer as the model for this statue?" And I went, "Sure, I guess, I don't know, yeah." So anyways, I went out to Ray Arnett's on a number of occasions because he did it in stages. And one of the stages was they put plaster directly on your face and they give you a little straw to breathe through, you know. And that's what I was telling you about my daughter. She was saying, Rick, you know, like, you even smoke during that? And I said, it's not for smoking, it's for breathing. Like, you know, like, you have to breathe through something because your whole face is covered with plaster. And I had mentioned this before too. I said that it seems that you almost have to be a firefighter because you're used to having a mask on and zero visibility and things like that, where it wouldn't bother you. But yeah, it's a direct, that statue is an absolute direct copy of me. I'm sure there's every little dimple or pimple, or if you got close to it, it's there. I'm glad it's a dark color and in bronze because it's like I said, it's a direct copy. And I remember him doing the hands. He did the hands separately with gloves on, and he explained to me when they put that plaster all over the gloves. When it was done, if you look at it, you can see every thread in those gloves, every little thread. You know, it's such a precise system that he uses. And during this process of duplicating everything, my honor guard uniform was wrecked because he had to take a direct copy of that. Once he put the plaster on that, of course, it copies it precisely, and then he had to cut it so I could get out of it. But the uniform is ruined. At that time, I think I'd been in the honor guard for probably 26 years or so, and glad to do it the whole time. Vern Stewart was a deputy chief at 16. He had heard that my uniform was ruined, and he says, we'll get you another one. Well, at that time, I thought 26 years is just about enough. I told him, I said, if you're getting a chit for a new uniform, give it to a new guy that they're going to recruit. I said, I'm kind of, this is a good stepping off point, you know, getting a little too old for it or whatever. So yeah, I wrecked the uniform, but well worth it, because hopefully that statue will represent the fire department and for a long time to come. And the artist was Ray Arnett. And one of the things that Bill Weisenberger and the union was involved in, and Bill Weisenberger was a firefighter in the union, they had about 6 or 8 submissions, and a lot of them were of firefighters in duty gear, like duty gear. But our union decided we should go more formal and have the honor guard formal dress, and also the police officer in his you know, like #1 dress would be a better representation of the department. And I'm glad they did, because I got involved in it, and while my mom was still alive, she was proud of it, which is, you know. But I mean, to actually look at the statue, I don't think you can see it's me unless you're my mother or my sister. So that's kind of a good thing too. So, and thanks for that.